Previously on Kings and Empires of United India. The mighty Shunga dynasty, once a symbol of power and stability, had begun its slow descent into chaos. After the rule of Gautamiputra Shunga, the empire faced weak leadership, internal dissent, and rebellion from the provinces. The last Shunga ruler, Devbhuti, was overthrown in a coup by his own minister, Brahmadatta, in 73 BCE. Brahmadatta established the Kamva dynasty, a new ruling house that sought to restore stability. But the Kamvas lacked the political strength to hold the empire together. Regional powers, once suppressed by the Shungas, now saw an opportunity to rise. Among them was a kingdom from the Deccan that had long been growing in strength, the Satavahanas. The Kamvas ruled for only a few decades before they, too, were overthrown. And in their place, the Satavahana dynasty emerged, marking the beginning of a new era in Indian history. Today, we unravel the story of the Satavahanas, how they rose from obscurity to become the dominant power of southern India, their conflicts with the Indo-Greeks and Sakas, and their lasting cultural and economic legacy. This is Kings and Empires of United India. The origins of the Satavahanas. The Satavahanas were among the first great rulers of the Deccan, but their origins remain a subject of historical debate. Some believe they were once regional governors under the Mauryan Empire, while others suggest they belonged to an indigenous warrior class that rose to power in the aftermath of Mauryan decline. Their name, Satavahana, is derived from the words Satavahana, meaning 7 vehicles, possibly referring to an ancient military or chariot-based tradition. Unlike the Mauryas and Shungas, who were centered in northern India, the Satavahanas established their stronghold in the Deccan Plateau, particularly around present-day Maharashtra, Telangana, and Andhra Pradesh. For years, the Satavahanas remained a regional power, overshadowed by the might of the Mauryas and later the Shungas. But as the Shunga and Kamva dynasties weakened, the time was ripe for them to expand. The first major ruler to carve out the Satavahana empire was Simuka Satavahana. Simuka Satavahana, the founder of an empire. The Kamva rulers, already struggling to maintain control over northern India, failed to assert their authority over the Deccan. Simuka Satavahana, a powerful chieftain, seized this opportunity. Around 30 BCE, he led a successful campaign against the Kamvas, overthrowing them and establishing the Satavahana dynasty as the dominant power of the Deccan. Simuka's reign marked the beginning of the Deccan's resurgence. Under his rule, the Shungas and Kamvas were completely eliminated from the south. He expanded northward, consolidating regions once controlled by the Mauryas. He strengthened trade and agriculture, making the Deccan a hub of economic activity. Simuka also revived Vedic traditions, but unlike the Shungas, who had been hostile to Buddhism, he supported both Hinduism and Buddhism. This policy of religious tolerance would become a hallmark of Satavahana rule. After ruling for over 2 decades, Simuka was succeeded by his younger brother, Krishna Satavahana, who continued his policies. But it was under Satkarni I that the empire truly flourished. Satkarni I, the great conqueror. Satkarni I was the first great military ruler of the Satavahanas. His ambition stretched beyond the Deccan. He sought to challenge the foreign rulers who had entered India after the fall of the Mauryas. At this time, northern India was divided among the Indo-Greeks in the northwest, the Scythian invaders, who had begun pushing into Indian territories, the rising Kshatrapa rulers, who would later become Satavahana rivals. Determined to reclaim Indian lands, Satkarni I waged a series of wars against the Sakas and Indo-Greeks. His victories earned him the title Dakshin Pathapati, Lord of the Southern Route. Under his rule, the Satavahanas extended their control over central and northern India, pushing back foreign invaders. He conducted the Ashwamedha, horse sacrifice, symbolizing his sovereignty over vast territories. He fortified trade routes, making the Satavahana economy one of the strongest in India. Satkarni's reign established the Satavahanas as a dominant Indian power, but after his death, the empire faced instability. Internal conflicts and external invasions weakened the Satavahanas, allowing the western Kshatrapas, Saka rulers, to gain ground. It wasn't until the reign of Gautamiputra Satakarni that the empire would rise once again. Gautamiputra Satakarni, the empire at its zenith. If there was one ruler who defined the greatness of the Satavahanas, it was Gautamiputra Satakarni. Ascending the throne around 78 CE, he is remembered as the most powerful ruler of the dynasty. His greatest achievement? Defeating the western Kshatrapas. The Saka rulers, particularly Nahapana, had seized Satavahana territories in Gujarat, Maharashtra, and Malwa. But Gautamiputra launched a brilliant military campaign and annihilated the Sakas, reclaiming lost lands. His victory brought the complete restoration of Satavahana power in western India, the elimination of Saka influence in the Deccan, the expansion of trade routes with the Roman Empire, boosting economic prosperity. Gautamiputra was also a strong patron of both Hinduism and Buddhism, ensuring cultural harmony in his empire. After his reign, his son Vasishthiputra Pulumvi continued his legacy, further strengthening trade and administration. But as history has shown, no empire lasts forever. The decline of the Satavahanas. By the 3rd century CE, the Satavahana Empire began to fragment. Successive rulers faced internal rebellions. The western Kshatrapas regrouped and launched counterattacks. New powers like the Vaktakas emerged, challenging Satavahana dominance. The last major Satavahana ruler, Ajanta Satakarni, made attempts to revive the empire, but by 225 CE, the dynasty had lost most of its power. The Satavahanas, once the guardians of the Deccan, faded into history. The legacy of the Satavahanas. Despite their decline, the Satavahanas left a lasting impact. They stabilized the Deccan, creating a foundation for future empires. Their trade networks connected India with Rome, Persia, and China. Their art and architecture, like the Ajanta Caves, continue to inspire India's cultural heritage. But as the Satavahanas fell, new powers rose in their place. In our next episode, we explore the rise of the Vaktaka dynasty, a kingdom that would shape the future of central and southern India. Until then, the wheel of history keeps turning.